So, yo, I am your host, Cody. We are keeping it geekly with our brand new friend, Laurie Calcaterra. Did I get that right first try?
You did.
Let's go. And we are here to break down her brand new Kickstarter for Path of the Pale Rider issue #1, and just her beginning as an indie comic creator. This is her first book, and it is going to be such an interesting book. I can't wait to get my hands on it. So let me stop, and why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm Laurie Calcaterra. Like Cody said, I'm an indie comic book creator. This is my first comic. This is a really kind of a weird journey for me because I started out doing martial arts in 1997. So I'm a lifelong martial artist, right? So I've been doing martial arts for 25 years. Back in 2016, I started choreographing fight scenes for a production company in Detroit called Coattail Collective. So it was choreographing like fight scenes for music videos and like anything that they needed. I decided at that point to do like a demo video. So I wrote a short film called Catfishing. So my team and we did like an extended fight. It was 7 minutes, just full of ass kickery. Like we did a fight in the stairwell. I did a wall run. Like we have this extended knife fight. Yeah.
What type of martial arts did you take?
So I study Penchak Silat and Filipino martial arts. I'm currently studying Illustrissimo, but I've done like Eskrima, Pakiti Tertia, Arnis. Like they're all kind of similar but different. They have their own take on the same thing. But when it's a weapons art, I mean, we're all attacking the same targets. Like you're attacking to the neck, you're attacking to the head.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
You know,
so,
where the organs are.
Me and my daughter are actually doing Kempo martial art training. So it was one of those things where she kind of had a bully in school, and I'm the dad, and I'm like, I'm not standing up for that, and trying to teach her to kind of get that confidence. My biggest thing is like the discipline that it like instills within you, because like, and I'm sure even dealing with weapons, that has to be like next level. That sounds insane.
Yeah, I mean, we start weapons very early. Almost immediately. And the reason why is because if you can fine tune your reflexes, your response to avoid a blade, then, a punch is no big deal. You know what I mean? They're coming at the same speed, but obviously you have to train yourself. I can't take a knife. You can't take a knife stab, right? You did. So you wouldn't put yourself in the situation to take a punch either, because you train yourself to react to the point where you can handle a blade or a weapon. So like sticks, knives, machetes, flexible weapons, gun disarms, yeah. Which, by the way, is all written into my comics, so you get to have that benefit as well. So after the demo video, the production company was really interested in me and actually brought me on to write content. So I was writing web series for them called The Agency, which is more of like a spy drama. Heavy martial arts, lots of action, twists and turns. I love that series. We filmed the pilot, and then we moved. So my family relocated from Michigan to Texas. So never really went anywhere. But that was like my first taste of writing something that I knew would entertain somebody. You know what I mean? Like leaving the episode with a cliffhanger, and like bringing people in and having character development in every episode, but still ending with something to bring people back, right?
So
I started writing Path of the Pale Rider in 2018.
How did that feel getting like involved with that type of level of production? Were you like ready for that level? Like, was you expecting it? I mean, going from just like training in martial arts to just like catapulting like through the ranks, that sounded so awesome.
Yeah, and it was so much fun. I mean, they were so encouraging. Everything that I turned into them, they were like they were astounded with. So it's like, yes, this is great, do more, because then they were, first we were doing fights, and like, your team is great, like, do you want to do something else? And then I'm like, well, can I do my own demo video? And they're like, absolutely. And then they're like, can you write us some content? And then it was like, this is great, we want more. So yeah, exactly. It just kind of really encouraged me to do something like that, because I never thought I would be doing this.
So that was your first time?
Yeah, that was my first time.
That's all. Yeah,
so
that's
then
cool.
I started writing this series this series. I wrote it as a full-length movie in 2018, right? Because I'm from production, I'm thinking production. But the idea was just so big. It was outside of our means as a small production company to produce.
So what were you looking at with it being looked at like with the movie? Like what was the runtime looking like, or did you not even get to that point?
We didn't really even get to that point. I mean, like, it would have been a full-length movie.
Yeah.
So the process that I use, I don't know. You ever see those commercials for it? They're not so big anymore, but they used to be on Facebook, where they have like those master classes. Learn acting from Samuel Jackson. Learn cooking from Gordon Ramsay, right? Wine tasting, everything, anything. There was one class for David Lynch, and it was writing screenplays. And his suggestion was get 3x5 cards, write a scene on a card, and once you get to 200 cards, that's about the length of a full-length movie. So that's what I did.
So you carried around 200
200
of these cards?
3x5 cards, and I still have them. I should bring them. And it's still my process because So I finished the first arc, and I'm writing the second arc and have intention of writing a third arc to this story. So I'm still using 3x5 cards. If I have this crazy idea, I write it down, and then I see where I can work it into the story, into the arc that I'm currently working on. So
how many arcs did you get from the cards? Would you say like the first one was pretty much driven from 200 of the cards, or did you knock out a couple of them?
Yeah. No, 200 is like that. That's the first arc, because I basically wrote it as a beginning, middle, end. You know what I mean? So like you typically would see a movie, it has a first act, second act, third act. So that's it. So it's 13 episodes. So 13 is the lucky number 13. That's the whole first arc, and they're all done. The scripts are all done. So when we decided to turn it into a comic, it was merely a point of finding the right illustrator to be able to flesh out the story in that medium. You know what I mean? So we're going from a visual medium to another visual medium, but you're losing like sound, you're losing movement. So there's challenges to making it 2D instead of 3D. So
how hard was that for you to do? Like, I mean, coming from where you were more used to the 3D, was it hard to like overcome those challenges?
It was one of the things that when I was interviewing illustrators, it was one of the things I always brought up, like, okay, so in this world, sound is super important. What are some of the things that you bring to the table as an artist, that can help the reader understand why sound is important, why it's important to be super quiet, why, there's stuff that's going on that's deafening in this world, and it's like, how do we communicate that to the reader? So they always had to bring something to me, like, this is how I would tackle that, So yeah, but I mean, transforming it from a script, the hardest part I think was just like where to make the breaks in the episodes. You know what I mean? Because we want them to be about equal, you know what I mean? So they're going to be around 24 pages each. Some might be a little longer depending on the content, if we have like a big fight scene or a lot of text or something that has to fill in the story. But I mean, that was the hardest part, is splitting them up.
Yeah, and I'm sure like trying to make it to where you want to keep the reader coming back with each one, that might have been a little bit more difficult, translating it from like a movie script to a comic script.
That wasn't hard at all, because I write.
She's like, complete opposite, actually.
Because I love to write twists, and I love to write, no, that was fine, because I have so many moments of, oh shit, what's going to happen next in this story? That was real easy to be like, okay, Jude gets to here, and then now we have to stop, and this is where it breaks for the next one. So there's just so much action. There's so many crazy things.
What was your drive to go with this type of story, though? I mean, I know we were talking a little bit earlier about it, but this is a little bit more of a unique twist on everything as a whole. So what kind of pushed you in this path? If you see what I did there.
Okay, so I love, yeah, I caught that, Path of the Pale Rider. So I love sci-fi, horror, fantasy, like, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Star Trek, anything DC, Marvel. I read a lot of Image comics. I really love apocalypse theme. So it could be like Snowpiercer, or it could be like a zombie. Walking Dead. So
Hmm.
those I love to read how people overcome the challenges in these extraordinary circumstances. So I thought of my world, like what would happen to the world if nothing could die? So we're all stuck here. So in Path of the Pale Rider, for your listeners who haven't really checked out the Kickstarter or don't know what we're about, in this world, when your body dies, your soul stays in your body. So you decay, but you're still in there. So you're slowly decomposing, your brain is decomposing, so you're going through either forgetfulness or indifference,
Oh,
violence,
wow.
chaos. It all kind of hits everybody differently, just like if you had like a brain trauma or a debilitating disease.
That is,
Okay.
wow.
So yeah, so you have like zombies, you have undead
Hmm.
people, but they're people. And in the beginning, it's like when there's only a few, nobody really knows what to do with them, right?
Hmm.
Because they're still people. It's like you can die on Sunday night and go to work on Monday as undead. Like, what are you supposed to do? You're still here. Um, but then it's like as things start to progress, and there's more and more of this population, it becomes much more chaotic and uncomfortable. And remember, the death process is broken. We broke
Yeah.
it for everything. So it's not just people, animals, insects,
Oh, wow.
everything.
So
So
that
now
that
we
that, that
we
sounds
have
very problematic.
mm, right. So now we have problems with food. We have all, it's like I've said this in other interviews where it's like if you eat meat, how do you butcher an animal, a large animal that is still animated? And if you were able
Yeah.
to, would you still want to eat it because the meat would still move as you
Oh.
ate it? No thanks.
Yeah, that would be pretty rough.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how long do these bodies typically last for? At which point do the bodies just decay to a point where they're not even moving?
It's a standard decay process. However, we as people are pretty smart. So if we are encountered with a major issue, like we're decaying when we're undead and we don't want to, I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure people would start to find solutions to either
Yeah,
prolong that process. Like what chemicals can you combine to mimic like a formaldehyde?
like a
What
zombie
cosmetics?
Botox or something.
Yes, yes. Or like what cosmetics can you combine with household products to dye your skin so that it looks like you're still alive? So you have this group of people that's trying to pass as
Hmm.
living, right? So then the government steps in and starts creating these devices called discs. So if you look at some of the preview pages, Jude is wearing this contraption on his chest, and that actually is a government issued device called a disc that when you tap it, the circle will light up with your heartbeat, and it has a speaker so it will emit the sound of your heartbeat. So in the beginning, that was kind of what they came up with is like a driver's license. Like you have to have
Hmm.
it, and then they can just check you to see if you're living or if you're recently undead and you're trying to pass, they can find you. But
Oh, wow.
again, we're
Yeah.
people, and what do we do with electronics? We hack them.
Yep.
So you know what I mean. So it's like every time there's I kind of treat it like how would we as the human race approach this problem, and I keep it pretty realistic of how
Hmm.
we would do that.
So,
So, but I
what did
also
you do to kind of keep that sense of realism with it? Like, what type of influences? I mean, I guess like what all went into your studying to make this as real as possible?
history, the treatment of some minorities, the Holocaust, all of that kind of plays into how this group is treated. But again, this is a fictional group, and
Hmm.
I never in the comic book tell anybody what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
I just kind of give you the situation, and then you can make up your mind. Because again, it's like, what would you do if your neighbor was undead and was violent? You know, and it's like there's
It
this
would be
whole
a hard
movement
call.
to take away rights. It would be a hard call. What if it's your spouse that's undead and is
Hmm.
getting violent? What if
So,
it's
like,
your child that is undead?
How
You know what I
violent
mean? And it's like
are they
it's
getting? Would you say?
yeah. Well, at that point, really anything goes. It's the
Hmm.
apocalypse, man. But it's like the importance of life to that group is no longer present. So you as a living person want to hang on to your shred of your spark for as long as
Yeah.
possible because you see what this other population is going on, with what they're going through.
Hmm.
But to them, it's like, it doesn't matter. You don't go anywhere. You're still here. I can run you over with my car when I go, wherever I'm going. And it doesn't matter because you can still go home and be with your kids in the beginning, right? And then as things progress, the government kind of like separates the population. So now you have people living apart. And then we have like a police force called collectors that come in and get them.
That is so cool. I'm really loving this world building.
Yeah, it's pretty in depth. It's pretty in depth. I spent a lot of time building the world. And that's one of the cool things about the project that I'll talk about is like, we have the comic, which kind of is your meat and potatoes, the main story, death, dying, destruction, all of that. And then since the world is so big, there's stuff happening that's not, happening to Jude. So you're not seeing it in the comic book. So I figured we could explore some of those ideas with like the short films and then the Easter eggs, the riddles, and the scavenger.
So you're still doing the film as well. That's awesome that you're still able to chase that side of the passion as well. I mean, so you said you're going to be doing a deeper dive into the world building. What can we expect to see within the film?
Yes. Okay, so for example, if you go to the Kickstarter page, there is a short film. If you go towards the bottom, I'll talk. I have a section that talks about the interactive stuff that I have going on. So this short film for episode 1 is a commercial for an undead retirement community called Pine Fox. And in the commercial, it's like it's like the white picket fence, come join us, you can live out your undead years here. But then it's static, and then it cuts out to something else where it's like it's violent, there's riots going on, there's things on fire, there's violence. So it's like it's it goes back and forth between this serene, calm tranquility and then this violence, which is really what the world looks like.
Yeah, like abstracting pictures. I mean, and that's kind of how you really see it painted in the media. Like when they choose to portray it how they want to. Like things could, they'll picture it as peaceful when it's not, and vice versa. They'll picture riots when it's peaceful.
What are they hiding?
Yeah.
So it's like that's kind of my comment of yes, propaganda, and then like what's really going on behind the picture that they don't want you to see. And it'll make you question all the other things in the comic. Again, it's like you might be being told one thing, but then what is the undead retirement community? I don't know. It could be something completely different that nobody knows. So there's a whole lot of conspiracy theories and questions and stuff like that I bring up. So what I decided to do for episode 2 is to open up the short films to the readers. So we're going to pick a topic, and you could submit a 30-second clip of that topic to me, and I will edit all of the film together, and we're going to make a short film. You can see yourself become a part of the story.
Oh yeah, that's I love so much when readers and viewers and such can get involved in a project of this magnitude. It's awesome, and I think it brings a lot of individuality to it, having your readers be a part of it. I mean, that's just something that goes that extra mile.
Yeah, so I love that. So it's like, if you want to be a part of that, absolutely come join us. The other thing that I decided we can do additional content is with riddles. So the same section of my Kickstarter where it has the short film, I show you the back cover of episode 1, and it's actually a riddle. So if you take a close look, if you can figure it out, it sends you to some place in the real world. Yeah, and then going forward, they're gonna.
So that riddle seems pretty
difficult. If you can solve
sorry. I was gonna say that riddle seems pretty intricate and difficult. How hard was that for you to plan something like that? To have it actually go to some place in the real world and have that like kind of just hidden.
I have lots of plans. Nefarious laugh. It wasn't really difficult. I have all sorts of things that I have set up for this in the future. So we're gonna do like Morse code. We have ciphers. We have red reveal, we have invisible ink, we have all sorts of different things that are the riddle portion, and those things are going to send you to websites, YouTube channels, phone numbers to call. If it might request an address and you get something in the mail from us that would be like if you were in Path of the Pale Rider, stuff like that. We have
That's
a big
so
old
cool,
rabbit
though.
hole for you to fall into.
Yeah, that's like, I don't even know how to explain it. That's like breaking the fourth wall with this almost at that point, where you're mailing them like pieces like they would expect within this world. I mean, so what drove you, I guess, to come up with the idea of someone who dies but doesn't like decay? Or, well, I mean, they die but they reanimate. I mean, that is such a unique spin on things.
I don't know. It just popped in my head, and then I just like the more I developed the world, I really enjoyed it. And again, it's like for someone that has interest in sci-fi and in horror, especially horror, and zombies. Like zombies are a big thing, but it's like I didn't want them to be the brainless, you know, brains eat people kind of thing. Now, can my zombies be cannibals if they wanted to? But they would have to make that choice. But that's not really what it's about. It's more about what do you do in that situation? How do you live in this world? What becomes important? How does everything change? And then, how to survive. And then we come to our story, like Jude. Jude St. Clair is, we meet him 10 years into the apocalypse. Most people, like, look at us, we're 2 years into COVID.
Yeah.
People are over it, right? I mean, we've moved on.
Yeah.
So 10 years into an apocalypse, people have moved on. They're just trying to live out whatever kind of life they have. Things are really rough and they're just trying to scrape by. But Jude is not happy. Jude is still looking for the answer. So he has this journal of conspiracy theories. He's been trying to, figure it out. He's debunked quite a few. But it's like, is it aliens? Is it a virus? Is it a government conspiracy theory? Is it, sentient yogurt? It could be anything at this point. You really can't, you can't knock anything. So it's like he's been going around looking for answers, and he's trying to see if he can survive long enough to put the world back together.
Yeah. So I know you said you kind of like the post-apocalyptic world in that sense, but would you say COVID kind of had a lot to build upon, like just seeing how the real world like dealt with it, like, and then kind of taking that and like transitioning it into how the world deals with this? Like, do you think that had much more impact?
It was, Cody, it was weird because remember I wrote this in 2018.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah.
So I wrote this before the pandemic hit, and then shit from my story started to come true, and it freaked me out.
So you really didn't have to change the script too much because it was like, man, this is coming true.
I didn't change anything at all. It was finalized in 2019. Okay, so when that might boggle your mind too. So when you read this, remember, I wrote this before the pandemic, before the riots, before all of the things that happened in 2020.
You're gonna be on a checklist soon.
Like, I don't know about this. I know. I was like, I don't know about this. And my sister who had read the script was like, Laurie, stop writing. I was like, I didn't do it.
Write good stuff, please.
It's like, make the good stuff happen. And I'm like, if we keep going down this road, it's gonna be a bad thing. Like.
So let's go ahead and kind of touch base on Jude a little bit, and then we can jump into the Kickstarter if you'd like.
Yeah.
So Jude, what type of person is he? What can we expect from him? And I guess like just some of the more basic characteristics he has.
Jude St. Clair. All right. So first of all, the patron saint of impossible things or like lost causes is St. Jude. Right? So there you go. He's this guy on this impossible mission. Nobody knows if he can solve it, right? It's just him and his horse Prince. And she, there's a little Easter egg to her too. If you're a DC fan, her name is Diana Prince and she has a star on her forehead. Yeah, so we'll talk about, that's in the comic. But they've just been traversing what the world has turned into, which is basically the Wild West. So that's where we kind of get the spaghetti Western feel to it. It's because it's like the Wild West at this point. But he is stuck kind of in the old ways where people have moved on. He's he's stuck. He's a romantic. He's a pack rat. He likes to collect things that are intact from the world, from pre-apocalypse. He has a problem with pretty girls, where he like wants to rescue the damsel in distress. 9 times out of 10, the decisions that he make end up terrible. Like, stop making decisions, Jude. You just keep effing things up. But he's kind of this like rough cut. He's not a professional martial artist. He's not a spy. He's not a, he doesn't have like all these exceptional skills to help him get by. He's a regular guy, just kind of lucky to get where he is. He picks fights. He's sarcastic. Yeah, he has a few skills to help him get by, but most of the time, and like I said, it's just like skin of his teeth.
Sounds a little rough around the edges, but it means well. I'm picking up on the vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what he's about. He's like, he has a purpose. He's trying to get something accomplished, but it's like, he's been around and he knows how dangerous and terrible the world is. So he knows how to navigate, but a lot of times he just makes dumb decisions. And consequences ensue. Like when we go to the Kickstarter, well, I'll talk about those 8 pages. Like, the stuff that he decides to do really sets the comic in motion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So speaking of the dead list, go ahead and we'll break right into it. So congratulations of hitting 2017 of 4,550, 33 backers with only 26 days to go. How long has
is that all?
Yeah. How long has this campaign been going on for? Just a few days, right?
Friday night we went live.
Wow. Yeah. They say the first and the last day are your biggest days. So I mean, you're almost halfway there.
We're getting there. Yeah, we're almost halfway, which is great. It's like you can breathe that sigh of relief when you get funded, and it's like everything after that is cake, right? And we have stretch goals and we have other stuff and merch to get to, so that will be fun and great. But it's just like I can't wait to get Marco back to work, making pages. So.
All right, so right here is the introduction. If you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so it's like it says, it's a brand new Western apocalypse. So if you're into like Mad Max, I Am Legend, Fallout, a lot of, like almost Quentin Tarantino type gore, this is for you. I am a self-acclaimed super nerd. So if you're a nerd and I'm writing this for someone like myself, someone who will get all the Easter eggs, someone who will enjoy the journey and all the extra content. This is our issue number 1, kind of where we all start. We plan on having 24 pages to the episode, and then after this one is funded, we're just moving right on to episode 2. So we're just going to start steamrolling them out, and then the more we do, obviously the faster turnaround time we will have, of course, depending on the content of the episode. But Marco and I already work really well together, so we're just going to get better as we go.
So did you actually hear that I Am Legend, they're supposed to be coming out with a second one? They made an alternate scene where the protagonist survived the grenade blast, and they're going with that and making it canon, which to me just seems, it seems like, I don't know how I feel about that,
I thought there was an alternate ending. Yeah, there was. Okay, so can I spoil the alternate ending? Because I've seen it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so in the alternate ending, the lady and her child still get out, but Robert Neville opens the door, and the zombies don't attack him because they just want the girl, the female. What do they call him? Dark lighter or something. So they take her and they leave. They leave him alone, because even though he had cured her, he actually reverses the cure and makes her like them again. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah,
so
I
he returns her, so they spare him. So they all growl at him on the way out. It's really tense, but yeah, he survives. So that would be interesting. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'd have to. I would be on the bench about that. Like, I think you can't really mess with that story too much, and it's like, to me, that looks like a cash grab where you're trying to, no.
Because I think the importance of the movie was him sacrificing himself,
Yeah, it's like him and like the whole thing with the butterfly daddy, and like the glass broke in a butterfly pattern. It's like, this is where you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it was like him sacrificing himself to let her go with her child also
Yep.
stopped him from providing a cure, because his blood was the cure.
That's
So
true. That's true.
it's succumbing, the world is what it is, and he can't put it back. So it's just, there's different takes on it. So I don't know.
All right, let me pull back the tangent. I am too good at getting off tangent when I seen things I like to talk
I am
about.
too.
So right here we are at the story.
Yeah, so it's kind of what I was talking about. It's just like, what would you do if you died and your soul got stuck in your body, and like you had to wake up every day and be undead and question your own sanity, and then all the crap that would come along with it,
Mm-hmm.
10 years into the apocalypse, most people are just trying to scrape by. Jude St. Clair is tirelessly searching for the answer to the question, why do the dead no longer die? So come with him on this, with him and his trusty horse Prince. They're on their journey. We'll see if he can survive long enough to uncover the truth, or is he just going to end up being undead and succumb to, decay.
Yeah, and this cover is just so gorgeous. I mean, I was torn between this cover or the David Rodriguez variant that I got.
Yeah.
They're both gorgeous. This one was just amazing. I mean, how did you feel when you first? How did you feel when you first got this cover submitted to you?
I was in awe because, first of all, I can draw, but I am not a comic book artist. And to me, the shattered glass is so important to this episode. It really kind of sums up what's important in this world. It's like any little decision you make can have dire consequences. And the fact that Marco drew a freaking reflection on every single shard of glass, I was like, that's insane. So he was definitely flexing, and I appreciate that. Like, do something badass for the cover, please, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny beautiful. Now that you see what is it, Doctor Strange 2, the Multiverse of Madness, and it's doing a similar thing, but this came out before that,
Yep.
Yeah,
it's
dude,
like,
it's phenomenal. Predicting it again.
I know. Everybody's like, oh, they're such copycats. And I'm like, you forget that we've been around longer than these things. Yeah. You're just seeing us now. Marco, when I asked him about this cover, he said it kind of sums up the world to him, because it's such a transient place. It's like there's no rest. Everything is shattered. The human race is shattered. It's like we're all over the place. Nobody knows what to do or how to feel at times. So it's just a very personal message that he was trying to put into this about, humanity. So then here we have our 8 pages. Now this is 2/3 of the way into episode 1. So we have about 16 pages prior to this, and then we'll have 6 pages after this, kind of resulting in that bear. So here we have Jude on this terrible road. Things are falling apart, but he has this conversation with Prince, like, I don't know, girl, what do you think? Here's this ominous sign, dead bear. Like, that's not good.
And that's basically, what I would imagine someone doing in real life too. Like, if something like this was happening, like letting you know, like, yeah, now don't worry about it being a real bear. This is actually a dead bear. Like, watch out, this thing won't die. Like, so what would they have to do at that point?
World, it's like they had to put a sign.
Yeah, like, do they dismember it? Like, what do you like? There's so many. It's such a thought-provoking. Yeah, that's it's so crazy once you start breaking it down.
Yeah, I don't think you can dismember a undead bear. You kind of got to wait for it to decompose long enough so it just does its thing.
Because it's going to be trying to kill you the whole time.
I mean, this is a seriously pissed off bear. It's very territorial. It doesn't like anybody on this road, but they don't know that. You know what I mean? But again, the viewer is like, okay, we got undead bears, and then what's this? So then he comes around this corner, and there's this glass. So he yanks it out of this zombie hand, and it goes flying into the air. I love this paneling, by the way. Marco does such a good job.
Yeah, the way the hand breaks its panel right here, and you can see it kind of bleed into the other ones. I always am a sucker for that type of detailing.
Like right into Jude's face. I was like, ew. And there's this glass. You get a nice close-up of the glass. Oh, that's out of order. There's a page that's messed up.
Oh,
Is this on my Kickstarter? What happened?
yeah, we are
I
straight
need
on
to
the
go fix
Kickstarter.
that.
Hey, you know what? Maybe it's
I
a
need to
good
go
thing
fix that.
yeah, maybe it's a good thing we started breaking it down this detailed.
It
That's all
wasn't
right
like
though.
that earlier. Something must have happened. There's a missing page. Okay, so in the page that's missing, he actually dives to catch this glass and almost goes off the freaking cliff. He catches it's like over the cliff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he picks it up. He's like, all right, let me see what I got here. And it's when you get a close up of the glass, it's this glass tumbler with a map of Las Vegas. Means something. Won't tell you. But so in that page, this crow kind of like wakes him up from where he is. He's like, what am I doing? That was so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they decide to go around this corner, and here's, of course, Big James the dead bear.
Yeah, when I seen this panel right here, this was so impressive. This bear just looks so gruesome.
You still there, Cody? What is it?
Yeah. I was saying, when I first stumbled across this panel, this image in particular, like, just drew my attention because that bear just looks so gruesome. What did you tell the artist in order to kind of get him to do this type of detailing?
Be as gory as possible. I was like, this is not for kids. Obviously, when you read the story, we're very gruesome in this story. I kill people in just about as many gruesome ways I can think of. So when we came to this part, I was just like, be as gory as you want. Just take it whatever direction you want to. Really, because this is kind of like your first jump scare. If it was in the movie, it would be like, it's right behind you. Jude thought they got past, and it's like there's almost that moment where it's like, okay, are we okay? And then the bear stands up. It's like, we are not okay.
All right, so let's go ahead. We could watch this short if you want.
I mean, we don't have to watch that one. That's just basically me on all these other podcasts and YouTube channels. And that's other people responding to basically what we're talking about right now. Like, how do they respond to the idea? What did they think? How crazy can it be? So for your viewers, feel free to watch that. It's just about, I think, 5 minutes long, but it just kind of gives you like a feel of what other people like us nerds, how they feel about this story as well. So, but it's just been fun to be on all these different interviews because everybody has their own question about the world. They all think about it differently. So it's interesting because I get, real deep thoughts back, replied back to me like, well, what about this? And
my biggest thought would be like, I guess, and this is something that's not really broken down in a lot of things, is like the smell of the world. Everything's decaying. So how would it smell? Like that would be like, like horrible, like
horrible. But I mean, again, it's like, as humans, would we attack that? Or it's like maybe, the process of trying to preserve ourselves with chemicals is now the new giveaway. Maybe it's not the smell of decay, but maybe it's the smell of chemical.
I'm gonna be wielding 2 cans of like Febreze with me.
We mask our smell. Axe spray and Febreze. You just gotta get it all over, and then we still don't want to be by you with the Axe spray. Sorry, no. But like, I had someone ask me like, well, what if someone thought it was a regular zombie trope and tried to shoot themselves in the brain, to see, to kill themselves? And I was like, well, now you just made yourself more unpredictable because now you have access to less of your brain. That's wild. And like, it just so much goes into it, like the overpopulation, like, because people are just going to continue to be born. So at some point, like, the world's just going to, like, I don't know, implode. Like, it's overflowing. But again, it's like, when you die, in our world, when you die, you can't own property, you can't drive a car, you can't vote, you can't carry a firearm, you know what I mean? But in this world, it's like, if you're still here, if you're still able to pay for your mortgage, can they kick you out? You know what I mean? So it's like, what happens to this undead population? It's such an in-between place to be. So
it's so wild to think about.
Well, we need this space. Get
like
out.
The infrastructure of everything would just be so insane.
Yeah, and then like, do we keep making guns Maybe we move to a different type of weapon system because the undead are not affected by.
You would
guns.
almost like want to stop killing people. You know what I mean? It would be like,
Yeah.
like, because they would work against you.
Right. Or you spend all this time trying to take away the rights and things of the undead, only to become one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's no
and
way
then lose
out
all
of
those
it.
rights.
So,
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of things to think about. I answer a lot of it in the comics, so yeah.
So this is your little bit about the creators as well.
That's me. Yep.
All right.
That's
So
everything we just kind of talked about.
Yeah.
Started in 2019 or 2018, 2019. That's Marco DeFeo, head of the art department. He's doing everything himself right now. As we grow, we probably will bring on more people, you know, to kind of free him up, to free myself up, you know, to do other things. So, but he will always be involved. And of course, here we have our variant covers. We have the Jose Martinez, Big James.
Yeah, that's brutal. That is brutal.
Very George Romero, you know, Night of the Living Dead. And then we have the Everett Watkins, which is more of a spaghetti western, good, bad, and the ugly, Jude with a smoking gun. I just love the ambiance, like the sunset.
Yeah, and the like the outlines of the bullets.
The bullets, yeah. Such a nice job.
Yeah, right here I think is the one I got.
This is the Rodriguez cover, David Rodriguez. Again, it's like, here you have this horde of zombies, and if you don't know our story, you think they're coming to eat you, but I think they're just telling you to get off their lawn. They could be singing you happy birthday. I mean,
asking about your car's extended
warranty. They're just
warranty.
mad that you broke their disc. Yeah, and we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. That's the best expression. I love that. Thank you for that, Cody. We're going to use that.
And then here are the stretch goals.
Yeah, I mean, like, being that this is our first episode, I don't think we're just gonna crush way outside of our budget. But if we do, we got some stuff. So we got some, you know, magnet. If we get to 7,500, Marco will do the whole episode in color. So it'll just change the delivery date, obviously, because if he's going to be doing more work, it'll push it back a little bit farther. Yeah, it's going
to take a lot more time.
Right, but if we don't get that, that's fine. We will still produce it in black and white, and then we can always go back when we start picking up more traction and color episode 1 and either do like a limited release or something like that. So we intend to color it in the future, even if we don't make the stretch goal.
Okay. And then
bonus
we have
Easter egg, probably a poster, probably.
That'd be so cool. Yeah, but I could only imagine posters of this artwork would just be awesome.
Yeah.
And then we kind of went over the big picture as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, do you want to play the short film?
Yes. Yep.
That's only 2 minutes.
That actually fits perfect.
When it comes to an inspired and privileged retirement, Pine Fox is where you want to be. Quality of life, peace of mind, harmony, it's all here. The setting is beautiful and peaceful. The atmosphere is lively and enriching. The amenities have something for everyone and every interest. At Pine Fox, your health and well-being is a top priority. Our community is growing and just waiting for you to join us. If making the most of your AD years matters to you, the choice is clear. Pine Fox.
Katie, time to come in.
Okay, Mom.
For more information, call 216-555-3323 or visit
Is that a number you can actually call?
pinefox.com today.
No, it's a 555, you know.
Okay, I got you. Oh, wait, that's still going. Okay, hold on. That is so awesome, though. Like, was this all, like, production on your end?
Yeah. And then he gets up, so.
is so awesome too. I love that little animated part.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, wow, that was awesome. I really liked like you said, the way it was like meant to like kind of like distract you, like the promise of like this perfect living, and then it's like protesting, and then like boom, shots fired. How hard was that to do? Was it hard to get people like to get involved with it and stuff? Like what all went into that process?
Well, okay. So most of the people in there are friends and martial artists from the martial arts school that I teach at.
Oh, that is so cool.
But this was like smack dab COVID. So it's like I can only get a few people to come out because, you know, people were afraid to come out in public and be around other people. Yeah. So we made do. But I have some really good friends and supporters that came out for that day, and I brought. I made all the riot signs, and I made all these patches for them to wear, and I had my shot logs. You know, I had everything set up so that way we could get in and get out, and people could go and sanitize and.
the real estate like agent part was just phenomenal too. That was like almost like perfectly spot on.
Yeah, it's like a real commercial, right? I mean, you could watch something like that today. And my husband is an actor, so of course that worked out perfectly for him.
So was he the real estate agent?
He was the real estate guy.
That's awesome.
Like, come join us today. Like, he has that perfect like radio broadcaster voice, so it worked out really well. But if you watch it, like, there's some creepy things happening. Like when he's talking at the very end, he's like, come join us today, and there's like lightning in the background. That worked out really cool. And like my daughter riding her bike in the zombie makeup, and like
yeah, that has to be so cool to get like just your whole family involved in on that. Like,
yeah, and they love it. Here's the riddle.
Oh, right here.
Oh, there's our socials.
Which I do have the socials. So in our main chat, our socials were your socials were underneath you, but also in the video in the description. Not only will the Kickstarter link be there, but your social media links as well. I put Twitter, Facebook, and I think Instagram, but I didn't add TikTok. Okay,
we're there too. Again, it's a visual, you know, it's film kind of, you know, it's only like short films. So we do a lot of the artwork set to music, just short, and then like I do some other cheesy, hokey content where like I did like 3 different videos of like you wouldn't survive the apocalypse with kids kind of thing.
You really wouldn't though. I mean,
fun.
My kid would probably be yelling about chips and get us killed or something.
Exactly, or it's like complaining about they don't want to eat the same thing every night. Or,
like come on, just trying to keep
like,
you alive.
Mom, she's touching me, and then the bear comes. I mean, like, you're not going to survive. So we just kind of have fun. It's my girls and I doing that kind of stuff. So it's just meant to be cheesy, hokey, but just something, you know, fun. Yep. The webpage is there. That usually will send you everywhere, and it has art. I have a blog that nobody reads. It's cool. It has like a calendar, and I'll put updates on it. But like the one that gets the most consistent updates is the Facebook group. Yeah. Just so you know. Yeah.
And then right here we are at the budget needs. And then I'll scroll up. What we'll do is we'll go up and we'll scroll down too. So we can check out this side of the tiers and stuff.
Yep.
So for your budget needs,
it's mostly art production. Of course, there's art production, so need money to help fund the rest of the comic, and then I put some money in to start us on the next one. So you'll get a 4-page Kickstarter preview for episode 2 when we meet our budget on this one. We also, of course, it pays for like print charges, shipping needs, so like the comic book mailers and the boards and the bags and stuff like that. And then of course all the merch that we throw in, it's in, you know, everything is kind of factored into that cost. Risks and challenges, of course, it's just getting funded within the first 30 days of Kickstarter's time frame. Marco is super professional. He's never missed a deadline. I'm super on top of things, as you can tell. So the only thing that could really slow us down is like if there's print issues or like the shipping. But again, that's kind of out of our control, but we'll get the comic book done when it needs to be done to go out to you on time.
So
There's no question about that.
in the unfortunate event that it doesn't fund, do you guys have any sort of like backup plan for it? Like maybe going digital and selling it online, or like any sort of plan B for it?
I plan on being funded, so.
Yeah, dude, full send. Let's go big or go home, you know?
I was like, I don't plan on not being funded. So, I mean, if that is what happens, then yeah, we'll come up with something. But I don't have a backup plan right now because I have every intention of getting funded. So.
All right, so let's start breaking down these tiers. I'm gonna get
Pledge without a reward. Yeah, if you want to, you can pledge and not get anything. If you just wanna, here's my money, and but I don't know why. Get a comic.
Do people typically like do that at all? Like, do you get anyone that hits on that? No. I mean, like,
maybe.
For me as like a consumer, I'm just like, I might as well like try to get the book if I'm gonna like pledge, you know?
Right. I mean, like, if I'm gonna do something minimal, it'll probably be like the PDF level. Like, send me something, email. I can still read the story. You know, that's me. So again, same thing. Pledge $1 or more. Anything is appreciated. I'll put your name on the thank you page. Thanks. $5 or more is download this. I had to have fun with it. It was download this, right? So it's the PDF copy. PDF copy of the comic that we're gonna send you and your name on the thank you page.
Then we got the
$10 is the key is I forgot. It's the PDF with a keychain. It's like if you don't want to go the full 15, but you want something to you know show for it, then that's for you. And then we got a bunch of $15 levels. This is the early bird special. It's called Early Bird Gets the Sticker, of course. So it's the Marco DeFillo cover, the physical copy, and then we're running a limited edition sticker for every episode. So there will always be this Early Bird Gets the Sticker level. There's only 50, so if you want that sticker, hop in and you can get that. We also have add-ons. So if you decide you want the sticker and it's Marco's cover, but you still want David Rodriguez's cover, you can add on a variant cover of any kind.
You know, I might need to manage my pledge. Is the stickers add on?
You might need to go manage.
Yeah.
The sticker. What is the sticker? What?
Are the stickers add on, or is it just?
That's the way to do it. So you can get. Is this? Say again.
So is the sticker?
No, the sticker is not an add-on.
Okay, I got you. So we'll pledge this tier and then add the variant.
Add on the David Rodriguez variant. Yeah. So then you'll get 2 copies of the comic, which is cool because then you can like, you know, store one and then read the other one and still get the sticker. So that's a way to do it. Of course, you get the PDF.
And
so this is like once the stickers are gone, this is Marco's cover. So to have and hold is Marco's cover with the PDF and the physical copy, but no sticker because the stickers will be gone. Someone chose that one instead of the other one.
Yeah.
It's cool. You don't have to have a sticker. So then we start going into the variants. So variant cover, this is the Everett Watkins.
I'll try to find that one.
Cowboy one.
Oh, I scrolled a little too fast. Wait a minute. I could have. It's all the way at the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, it might be after us.
Yeah, here we go.
So that's the Everett cover. Yep. Everett Watkins, who's also a comic book creator and a friend of mine. He is producing a young adult comic called Boog the Outcast. Very cool. I do some flatting for him on the side if he needs it.
So you do a little bit of art like on the side too. That's pretty cool. That has to be helpful.
But again, I'm just trying to increase my skill, increase my knowledge of the comic book process because again, I'm not really a comic book artist. I just I do what's necessary, but I could never pencil or ink.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to color, but again, it's just like a matter of doing it over and over and over for color, I think.
And
the Jose Martinez cover, that's the Big James.
So why'd you pick James for the bear name?
He has all those details. Oh, there's a meaning.
Okay, I gotcha.
You'll have to read it. You might have to get a couple episodes in.
So. The David Rodriguez because I pledged. Well, it's because I pledged it. It's at the top.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, the David Rodriguez cover.
Right here.
Of course, the zombies and the disc. It's just such a washed out look. It's so cool.
So what is the disc? Is it like a frisbee or a light?
It is a light. Like I said, you wear it on your person, and it will beat with your heart. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Like if you go back up to the Jude, the 8 pages, you'll see Jude wearing one. Just the splash page.
Right
there
here?
It is. Yeah. See, that's the disc.
I gotcha. So that's they tap it for the heartbeat.
Heartbeat's going crazy too.
Yeah, mine would probably be a little bit higher. Yeah. At that point, I probably would be fainted or reanimated because I would have died.
Well, no comment. You'll see how it turns out.
Yeah. I gotcha. So we have
people won't like me. It's cool. 25 or more, still human inside. We have the patches from the riot scene. So that's a limited quantity on those as well because I already ordered those. So if you want a patch from the riot scene, you still get the physical copy. It's the Marco DeFillo cover and a riot patch. Some of them, and these will go out randomly. Some of them have been used in the riot scene. So they have like the red band that goes around.
Okay, yeah. So that's cool.
I'm just gonna kind of randomly send them out. So maybe you'll get one. The Nat special. Nat's a friend of mine. So he's a collector. I'm a collector. So his request was obviously, can I have one that you sign, and can I have one to read? So that's what that one is. So it's 2 copies of the Marco DeFillo cover, the one with the glass. One is signed by just myself, and the other one is for reading, so you can take it out, you can smell it, all the good stuff.
The new comic book smell is one of my favorite smells in the world.
I know. If you know, you know.
If you know,
right?
you know, yeah.
Like, you know. Double Trouble is signed by both myself and Marco DeFillo. So it's 2 copies of Marco's cover. One is signed by the both of us, and one is to read. PDF copy, name on the thank you page, all that good stuff.
And then, a shirt.
Yeah, custom shirts are expensive to make, so unfortunately,
they really are.
That's why it's like, you have to go up to the $50 level to get one. So T-Rex, T-shirt and things. So you get the 2 copies. One is signed by me and Marco. You get the keychain, and the T-shirt and that level. Shipping is obviously more for that one because most of the small stuff I can put in the mailer with the comic book. But once you start going to a T-shirt, the ship, has to be bigger.
Yeah.
I'll do my best to keep it as inexpensive as possible, but I think
at that point you're just getting so much. You want to make sure it's packaged, safely too.
Correctly, right? We don't want to mess up the comic. $75 variant volumes of Doom. You get all the copies. So the copy that you get of Marco's cover is signed by myself and him, and then you get a copy of every single other variant, plus more of the merch, keychain, T-shirt.
That's awesome too for all the variants because all the variants are awesome. They all look gorgeous.
Really good.
Yeah. It was literally hard for me to choose which one I like the most.
Yeah. But that's why we did that add-on. So if you want to go back and change it, you can. You can get more than one, or you can get 3. If you don't want to go up to the $75, you can get, a different combination. This one's a great one, Immortality. You get all the things, plus Marco will draw your likeness into the comic book.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Will probably kill you pretty quick. Because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. I think as a consumer that's the best too. Because it's more of like a tribute, a quick nod,
Yeah, and we talked about this in another interview. It's like we're gonna try and get you into the next episode if we can. Obviously, it's like when you pledge this much and you want your likeness in the comic, you don't want to wait until episode 13 to see yourself. We're gonna try and get you into the very next episode or the one after that, just so that you can have that satisfaction.
Yeah.
And they
And you
get
got, it looks like you got 2 backers too, right? Yeah, so you got 2
Yeah, I
backers
got
for
a
that.
couple of those. Yeah.
So they can expect to be
Looking
in
forward to
episode 2
squish them.
then?
Yep, probably.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got
yeah.
a nice I got a group scene in that one, so we can definitely accommodate that. It's hard when it's just like Jude and one other person, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if there's just a couple people, but if there's a crowd or there's a scene going on, then we can get you in and squish you. The wholesale purchase, this is if you're comic book retailer, you want 10 copies or 20 copies, they come in groups of 10. It's just very simple and bare bones. It's just physical copies that you can put on the shelf. These are pretty inexpensive. US only. And then of course we had a level called Singularity, which was $500, and you get all the things, plus I'm going to order from Etsy a custom-made Jude Funko Pop.
Oh, that would be
There
so awesome.
Only be one, and someone grabbed it. The second person that pledged grabbed this, so good.
Oh, so someone actually grabbed. You said this was the second pledge.
The second pledge.
Wow. So you probably like this was the one you're like, I'm just gonna throw this on there and see, if it gets a hit, it gets a hit, it gets a hit, and like boom, like
Right,
that
I
had to
was
have been wild.
I was like, no one's gonna get this. I'm like, it's cool. I'm like, I'll throw it up there, and if someone's really serious about collecting it, then they'll get it. And I was like, we went from like $21 to $521, and I was like, is that right? I was like, someone got the Singularity.
So let's go ahead. We're going to.
That was fun.
Was there anything else you wanted to touch base upon with the Kickstarter while we're here?
No, that's pretty much it, guys. Just come along and join the shenanigans with us. It's like we got the comic book, we got the short films, and we got the riddles. The short films and the riddles will always be free. They're not going to be a stretch level ever. So there's no way. I mean, like, I have no intention of trying to monetize the short films. They're going to happen. And then if you want to be a part of it, absolutely follow our social media.
So is like the short films kind of like your way of like staying active with that movie, like, that movie idea that you were chasing?
Yeah, but it's like, again, it's like that there's so much more going on in this world that you don't get to see because it won't be in the comic. We could have fun with that. Let's have fun with that. You know what I mean? We're gonna do so episode 2. The topic that we're gonna tackle is conspiracy theories. So you can record yourself talking about what conspiracy theory you think broke the death process.
Oh,
So
that is so awesome.
Short
Yeah.
film. It's going to be awesome. It's like people talking about the rapture, people talking about chemicals, or it's a government conspiracy, and this is how I know. And it's like, you always get that crazy person that's like, I saw them aliens. They came in my backyard, they picked up my Mima on her nightgown and took her on the field 3 times, cow tipping, So it's like, be crazy. I really, I don't know, do you ever see Boondock Saints?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do you remember the credits? The credits of Boondock Saints, where they were interviewing just random people on the street, like, are you for them or against them?
They were talking about like the gunfight and everything.
They were like, yeah, go out there and shoot those bad guys because our system doesn't work. Or like other people are like, this isn't how our justice system was set up. Like everybody, needs to be able to have a chance to have their day in court. Other people were like, no comment.
How did you feel about their dad being the one they were trying to take down? That was such a crazy twist.
It was such a good twist. It was a great twist, but it made perfect sense, right? Because he was the only guy that was able to take them out. So it's like you never really surpass your master.
Oh my God! And William Dafoe in that was just such a phenomenal role.
So great. That made him,
Yes,
so
it
crazy
really
and
did.
Out there and beautiful, and the music, and he's dancing and pulling his hair out because he can't figure it out. And that's such a good movie,
I like the second one. I don't know if I was that big of a fan for the third one though.
Nah. No, I mean, it's the same thing. It's never the same. So that's why I'm like, I Am Legend, don't do it.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and ask you.
You're gonna ruin it.
Let's ask you this one question for anyone that is watching. I know we still have a considerable amount of time for your Kickstarter before it ends, though. But anyone that's watching and is kind of on the fence about backing it, what would you like to say to them personally?
I'm a nerd. You are a nerd. We are nerds together. I wrote this for you. I wrote this as a nerd for other nerdy people. If you like science fiction, nerd tropes, whatever, you're gonna enjoy the story. If you love horror, I kill people. It's like a million ways to die in the West. We have a little bit of everything. It's like there's steampunk, there's ethics, there's so many twists and turns. It's not your typical story, and I really push the envelope here. Like every episode will consistently get crazier. You'll start to see the world and how nuts it is. Poor Jude is all I gotta say. Poor Jude.
And
but come along. I mean, you belong.
Yes.
Do it together, right?
Last but not least, though, I gotta ask you one of my favorite questions, and this one I think is one of the most beneficials. So for anyone that's out there that is struggling to kind of get their idea to paper, maybe they want to make a movie and it's too big, so they might want to make it a comic book. What type of advice would you give them to kind of help them like get started on that? Like, I guess what was one of the main driving factors for you to kind of get your project started and brought to light?
Just do it. It's not going to do itself. There's no reason not to. Right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you fail. If you do, you might still fail. You'll probably fail 1,000 times. I have failed so many times to get where I am now. And it's like, there's no day like today. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Spend your time doing something you enjoy. Enjoy it. And again, if you have a full-time job and you can just sit down and write for an hour before you go to bed, and that's what you want to do, enjoy that time. Build your world. Spend time thinking about all the things that can happen. Enjoy your story. Take time. I took, 2 years to perfect my story, and then had to find the right artist that could flesh it out. You'll have to learn along the way, but that's part of the journey.
Yeah.
Enjoy the journey.
Such awesome words of advice. And like you said, even if you only have an hour before bed, you could still work on your passion. There's 24 hours in the day. It's what you make of it, and how you utilize those hours. And yeah, that just, I think you really hit the nail on the head on the nail. I almost said, wow. But yeah, with that being said, Laurie, I really appreciate you stopping on the show, giving us a breakdown of the Path of the Pale Rider and so much more. The ins and outs of what went into your journey as a content creator, and just what led you to today. With that being said, we do have to wrap it up. I really appreciate you coming on once again. Guys, if you're in the stream, be sure to check out her project. We will have all those links in the description below. But most importantly, guys, I hope you have an awesome night and keep it geekly.